Okay, welcome back guys to
Hi.
Hot Air, Lloyd and Tony as usual, and today we're going to talk about Weihrauch and, well, we actually...
all sorts of things.
But we've got Weihrauchs and BSAs, haven't
Why don't
we?
you start us off?
Okay, well, thank you very much Ian Jones, because he's supplied us with some lovely old Weihrauchs again, and I didn't know whether people were interested, but I was just going to give a really quick potted history about Weihrauch and see how we go from there. So what I've got today, what should we start off with? Should we start off with it? Well, we've got the 30, the HW30, and I hope that's not German marching music.
Beer drinking song. Don't worry about that.
Okay, so we've got quite a few nice ones, and I will put it on the little padded cover because I know we keep getting criticised for banging stuff on the table, which is fair enough. Anyway, Weihrauch, one of the most popular air rifle brands, I suppose you could say, in the world.
Yeah, and one of the most successful.
Started off in 1899. Which is going some really, isn't it? And actually, I'm going to have to look at my paper because I keep forgetting how to pronounce it. Is it Zellermalis? They started off in. I think it's Zellermalis.
Yes.
Which coincidentally is the same place Walther and Anschutz.
Yeah, they all started off in the same place, which is interesting. It's like an area for
Brescia.
production.
It's like Brescia for
like
shotguns.
Brescia, where they started off making swords in the Roman times and make shotguns and firearms today, and it's the same thing up in Germany. Except that they had a bit of an interrupt, didn't they? Something go wrong.
Well, they had
in the 1940s.
There's something that
got in the way.
But basically, I think Weihrauch were really well known for like shotguns and full-bore rifles and stuff like that.
Yes.
In the late 1920s, about 1928, they started to make door closing.
Well, all of these companies, I'm going to be talking about BSA in a minute, and I can talk about, I've seen BSA push bikes, motorcycles, washing machines.
Well, that's what Weihrauch did, bicycle parts as well, Bicycle
so
parts
it's quite
door
common
closers.
that hardware is hardware, and a gun in those days was a piece of hardware.
Obviously, when the Second World War happened, they weren't allowed to make anything for quite a while, were they? So I think it was Hermann Weihrauch decided to move from the occupied area that they were in, and actually moved into Bavaria, didn't they? Which was
decided. I mean, I've had a chat many years ago with Frank Walter from Walther Barrel, Walther, and his sort of grandfather was part of that group. And according to Frank, the story, and it's probably not written anywhere really, but according to Frank, the story is that they were in the Soviet occupied area.
Yeah.
And they had this machinery there, and in obviously the barriers were beginning to get a bit hard, so the Americans sent a load of trucks up, and whatever they could get on the trucks is what they took to the American sector, and they just moved them. And according to Frank, the reason why you've got them so close together now, Anschutz, Weihrauch, Walther, is because that's where the truck stopped.
Right.
And then dropped them off, and they settled in that area with perhaps a mill or some machinery, basic machinery, and they started up from, just refugees starting from nothing. So amazing. And they've created these companies. Makes you think of just a little bit more of them, doesn't it? That they can do that, and they created this industry. Weihrauch is one of the leading companies in the airgun market, and extremely eco-friendly and a thoughtful company. Making airguns.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it's funny because all these coincidences turned into what we've got today, and it's incredible because those coincidences might just never have happened. Weihrauch could have been making. We could be riding Weihrauch bicycles.
Well, the names that got stuck in the East were like Hanel and people like that. They exist to this day, but of course this Weihrauch company was the original Weihrauch company, and it's still in family ownership to this day.
That's right.
I was having a dinner with them, I think in October last year in America, and they're lovelier people you couldn't meet. They were really nice.
So basically what we've got, Ian supplied us with, in fact the first RF was 1950s, wanted the Model 50. But I think the Model 50 is incredibly rare because that was
I saw one talking about a training course, and we at the end of the training course what we do is we train with the rifles that we've got, but each one of these companies obviously have their own air rifles, and we say, right, at the end of the course, get them out, we'll check them over for you, we'll chronograph and make sure they're legal, because obviously these are professional pest controllers and everything has to be done by the book. And somebody opened their own bag and there was a Weihrauch 50, and that's like 2 weeks ago. Like, wow.
The original smoothbore.
Original smooth. I don't know if it was smoothbore, I didn't actually get that far, but I did actually shoot it with a chronograph, and it was 11.7.
Wow.
11.7. I
That's
mean,
incredible,
it's really good, and it was immaculate. I mean, it was, and I don't know if you know that they have a pop-up breech on them.
Yeah.
Very unusual. So that's the first one I've ever seen. Obviously, the collectors, except Ian hasn't got one. You know,
he's not.
Surprising.
Well,
what happened, Ian?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, isn't it?
Well, he's brought us a HW30, which is a lovely sort of junior. Well, actually, I think they started off with the 25, didn't they? They went on to do the 30.
Yes.
But that one is a later HW30, which is absolutely gorgeous. I think that's a fantastic.
What sort of power output on them?
I think these are probably about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
The modern 30s are not that much, to be honest with, but they still sell. And actually, one thing we were discussing in the shop a couple of days ago was how many Weihrauchs are still in production.
Yeah, well, they never really seem to get the 50's gone, but there's not many others.
I think the 50's gone. The
85's gone.
The 85 turned into the 95, didn't it? The 50 was the pop-up breech one, wasn't it?
That's right.
And the 25's gone, which I'm quite surprised at, because the 25, it's the only time I've ever heard about it, but they had some sort of a technical issue with that rifle, so they decided to discontinue it, and the 30 has sort of replaced it. But one of the guns that Ian actually dropped off with me was the 55.
Yeah.
Now, what's really important about the 55 is everything really the modern stuff that we know well now, the 35, the 80, etc., and the 85, and hence the 95, all really developed from the 55. Although the 55 was classed by Weihrauch as a sporting rifle. So obviously, a target rifle, and
right.
When they made the 35, they classed that as a sporting rifle.
Yes.
But the really good thing about it is some important features on the 55 was the record trigger unit, which has not really changed, has it?
No, not at all.
I think, when was this produced? This was produced I think it was 1952, something like that, approximately, for the 55. Mm-hmm. And I think the 35 came out in 1955.
Yeah.
So basically, we got the record trigger unit, which is, if anybody's ever shot a Weihrauch, they'll know how amazingly good that trigger unit is. Even to this day,
yeah,
it's held up as the trigger unit to beat. And actually, it's funny, because I think some modern manufacturers think, yeah, we'll take them on, we'll do a good job, and they still haven't really beaten the record trigger unit. It makes such a massive difference to performance. Also, as well, the 55T was basically a full-size rifle, although not quite full power were the 55Ts. And then what you've also got on the opposite side, which is absolutely gorgeous, you've got the barrel lock system, which then was changed to the 35 system, which you'll see in a minute. So you've got a beautiful. It's difficult to explain it on video, but you've got a really gorgeous barrel locking system, okay, and then you push it back and that locks the barrel in place, which is lovely. You've got the arrestor stud hole still. In fact, actually, that looks like a modern Weihrauch.
It does.
That could still, although the 55 has been discontinued, that really could still be in the catalogue to this day, and it probably still would sell. That's the 55, and what we've got next after that is the 35. Now, in my opinion, the 35 is what really, this is the one of the greatest Weihrauchs.
It's a lot of people's first rifle, isn't it? And it was such a classic rifle for everybody. It got such a following. Most people come back and get one again, so they can remember it. There was one or two changes, wasn't there, as it went through?
Yeah,
the famous Weihrauch click on the 35.
That's right. Yeah, they had I don't know whether this one does it.
There we are. Yeah.
Okay, you can obviously hear that.
I'm glad you did that.
Well, the rabbits were glad.
Yes, that's right.
That. Yeah. But that basically is just the cocking lever there. I mean, I don't know if you can actually see it kind of there. Can you see where it actually clicks into place and moves?
They got rid of that later on.
That actually has gone now, and it's so basically you got the record trigger unit out to the 55 with, I think they made some very, very minor modifications, but very little. As you can see, the catch has been I wouldn't say cheapened. It's probably a little bit more efficient.
It looks nicer.
Yeah, I mean they've made the catch smaller and probably a little bit more efficient, maybe cheaper to manufacture as well, but it does the job perfectly.
Yeah.
So and the lovely thing is with this is to release the catch. It's sort of like a one. You don't even think about it, do you? It's just that forward and then grab the end of the barrel, cock it back. Okay, but really nice method of cocking. Later on, obviously, they discontinued the catch.
Is there a anti-bear trap in that?
No, there won't. No, there won't be that one. And also, as well, if you, I don't know whether astute viewers have noticed, there is no safety catch on these ones. The safety catch came later. But apart from the safety catch, the click, and also as well, the piston seal was changed. Originally, Weihrauch used a leather piston seal, which was perfectly fine. It worked really well. But I think maintenance-wise, long term, it became a little bit more inconsistent.
PTFE and nitrile, it's much better.
That's right. So
could you just show the viewer how you cock a spring air rifle? As we haven't got an anti-bear trap, we can decock this one.
Yeah. So let me just turn around ever so slightly. I think you can still see that. So you basically release that there, cock it all the way to the back into the trigger. Now, if I was to pull the trigger, so as you can see, if I pull the trigger now, that actually releases the piston. So you've got non-modern anti-bear trap, and anybody who doesn't know what an anti-bear trap is, it usually means that it's a trigger lockout system. So as an extra
you should never
safety.
rely on it. So the correct handling is to always keep your hand on the barrel when you're loading.
Hopefully I did that on camera.
You did, yes. Otherwise we'd be cut now, wouldn't we? So
well, no, because actually I did it 6 months ago. Remember? And
that's right. And
I got it wrong, and rightly so.
Yeah.
That's the problem with like doing this in the studio. You don't think, and you should always think about it.
So you keep hold of it all the time when you put the pellet, and you obviously make sure that if it butt slips, it doesn't fly up if it broke, because it's only been held on the seat at the back.
A couple of other things of note was the absolutely brilliant and simple barrel axis pin. You probably, in fact, and maybe we'll see that in a minute if you've brought some old BSAs, where especially the old BSA meters, they used to start wobbling. With this one, obviously, you can just tighten it up, and so that really solved one of the problems with break barrel rifles, didn't it? From lasting a while, you would end up with barrel wobble, which obviously ruins the accuracy. But I mean, apart from that fact that gun is made, I think that's probably like maybe early 1960s, that one, maybe late 50s. So that's what, 60, that's 60 years old, that
exactly.
gun. That gun could be, in fact, actually, we sell HV35s now, and they've had a big renaissance. They brought out a walnut one with a silver action, and they brought the walnut one out with the black action, which I'll show you.
They used to have a long barrel version, the E.
As it happens,
yeah.
We don't know what we've got, by the way, do we?
No, we never bother looking because it takes the surprise away for us.
It's more interesting for us.
Yeah.
Well, also as well, we got that really is a classic. Do you know much about the Norme Vixen?
No.
I wish Jones was here to tell everybody, but they did a limited edition, and that really put the Weihrauchs on the map.
Vixen's is a what was it now? A venom name, wasn't it? Later on, was that anything to do with it?
No, not as far as I know.
No, right, okay. Yeah.
But then they did the HW35 export. Now, the thing about the export is, and you've got to bear this in mind, many years ago, a lot of people associated power and performance with the length of your barrel.
Yeah.
The longer it was, the better it
powerful.
was.
The carbine was low powered, full rifle length. That's a high.
Now, I don't even know whether you're getting this in shot or not, but the barrel extends. In fact, actually, it was 22
I'm
inch.
going to say, yeah.
But evidently, they did a 24 inch.
Right.
I don't think it was. I think it was an accessory.
You do get a little bit more power out of a longer barrel, but on a spring piston air rifle, it's not much.
No, not much. No. In fact, actually, I remember, was it Joe Cardew did experiments?
He was cutting them shorter and shorter and shorter.
And I think he ended up with, I think he said 12 inches for a 177 was absolute minimum, and it's something like 7 inches for a 2.2.
Right.
Anything after that really wasn't going to make much difference. Although saying that, Theoben did do a 7-inch barrel gun, and they did a 12-inch barrel gun, and the 12-inch one had were so much nicer to shoot.
Yeah, you've got more barrel time, so it's steadying everything down the air. The pistons
and they reduce the gas ram pressure as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's
the E.
Oh,
yeah.
That's actually the Vixen.
Oh, that's the Vixen. That's what it is then.
Thank you, Ian, for telling me that. This actually is a Vixen, and it was Norme Vixen.
Right.
And it was a gun shop in London that did and they did a lot of marketing in the old magazines, which I presume will have been Sport and Air Rifle, and it really made a big difference to the sales. But the 35 Export was...
No, they don't do the E anymore, do they? Don't do the Export anymore. You can only buy the standard
one. That's right. Yeah, but weirdly, the standard one, you can get it with a walnut stock, so it's almost like an E.
Right.
In fact, it's an E with a sort of a sensible length barrel.
Yeah.
So a 22-inch barrel. That one has got the safety catch on.
Yeah, the thing that you always forget when you're shooting a Weihrauch is the safety catch auto applies, and everybody who's ever shot a Weihrauch has forgotten to take that safety catch.
To start off with, yeah. Now the safety catch on this one, to recock, I'll show you. You put the safety catch comes on. Actually, just that. No, that one's not working.
Oh, there you are then.
That's definitely. No, that's not working at all. In fact, actually, it won't. Oh, it will release.
There we are.
So, actually, I know what it is. There's a little spring in there, and it wears.
Send it back under warranty.
I will do. Yeah, that's probably Weihrauch could do it as well. So you've got the safety catch that pops out, and then when you're taking it off, if you want to put it back on again, you've got to recock the rifle, which is the same as all Weihrauchs. Yeah. And you've got a beautiful tiger striped walnut stock on it as well. Very, very popular rifle, and just deservedly so.
What made the company?
So after that, we have the 80. Now the 80, if the story is that Weihrauch made a prototype of a repeating overlever air pistol.
Yes.
And that prototype actually went to America, and it went to High Score. And I've got a feeling that the Weihrauch were obviously looking for distribution in America, and it went to High Score. Yeah. And the guy that owned High Score was called Steve. I can't remember his name. I've got it written down somewhere. Steve Laszlo.
Right. Okay.
Or Laszlo.
Yeah.
And Steve knew Bob Beeman.
Yeah.
So I think basically the pistol was shown. I think Bob was interested. Bob
so that's where the Beeman got involved. Is it?
Bob, yeah, because I think Bob Beeman was obviously very interested in air rifles. Well, that's an understatement, really.
Well, he's a legend.
He is a legend.
I mean, maybe we want to diversify into the Beeman story a little bit.
Well, what I was going to say is actually in my hand I've got the first Beeman, which is when we all know this as the HW80, but it's actually its original designation. It was designed by Bob. Designed as the R1.
That's right.
So this is basically an R1.
The Beeman R1, which if you're talking to an American audience, and hopefully we've got a couple, even after the last show, we're going to have, they will know this as the Beeman R1. They probably won't even know it as the 80. No, they say, no, it's a Beeman, that is.
That's right. No, so basically Bob designed it, and Beeman, and then Weihrauch produced it for...
and he branded everything in his company as Beeman, and so you had also, I remember we did a Beeman Mako 2, and he rebranded everything, and that was part of the deal. He also had an amazing catalogue. Do you remember that?
Yes.
The Zeeman catalogue, which was just like a book, and had shooting information, zeroing information, and in amongst us all these beautiful rifles, and he was a sole exclusive importer, wasn't he?
That's right, yeah. Okay.
And he's still alive.
Trivia quiz.
He's still alive.
Is he?
Yes, he's still
fantastic.
alive. Not doing so well, but he's still alive.
Well, this is the R1.
Yes.
What was the P1?
Oh no, I don't know about the P1.
Okay, the P1 was the HW45. So again, our American
one.
American viewers.
Rifle one.
Pistol one. Rifle one.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's obvious now, isn't it? Yeah.
So the P1 was the HW45. And again, that was designed by Bob Beeman, basically, and produced by Weihrauch. They both did a fantastic job of working together. They evidently all became great friends as well, which is great. And then they brought the P2 out, which I think was the HW75 that came a little bit later. Also, as well, after the R1, Weihrauch then produced the HW85 because that rifle is it's not a seller anymore, but what a piece of history.
Yeah.
And
but it's the power up. We're going to go through that on this because what year is this? Is this 1980?
Yeah.
Right. So we've got. We've had the 12 foot-pound law by now.
Yep.
1969 we have the changing. So when these guns were made in the 50s, these were conforming in the UK with the straw board rules, basically an Indian idea where you shot through so many plain boards of pine, and if it penetrated, I think, 8 boards, then it was deemed to be too powerful and was not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, there's the famous Hammersmith flyover incident where somebody was shooting another American pump action rifle at cars, and that created this 12 foot-pound law. There's a longer story than that. So that point, rifle design diversified into sub 12 foot-pound and overpower, and there was a big market for higher power air rifles at that point. Most of the British makers couldn't actually do it, could they?
No, they couldn't. No, they couldn't get to that power.
Couldn't get to it. So the stroke and bore of the 80 is just absolutely huge.
Well, yeah, I mean they were well known. The 80s were well known as being the powerhouse, and it's funny because I was going to do a desert island air rifles thing, but evidently somebody else has done it. So,
right, yeah.
and it's funny because I was saying if I was going to ever take an air rifle onto a desert island that was going to be indestructible,
yes,
it'd be the HW80.
Right.
It's
not the 85, which was destructible.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that's
the worst gun they've ever made, actually.
I thought, funny enough, actually, I thought the modern pop-up breech HW50 was the worst gun they've ever made.
Right.
Because in my opinion, what they should have done, they should have got a 77 and scaled it down 2/3.
Yes.
And had the same everything, and it would have been a fantastic seller.
Yeah.
But the 80 is just a
very classic, and that they don't. The early ones, when they were sleeved down for the 12 foot-pound law, and that's where I'm getting to with that, they were a bit clunky, weren't they? They weren't so nice to shoot. At full power, because they used to advertise it as 1,000 feet per second.
Yeah, I think about 18 to 22. 18 foot-pound was reasonable without stretching it, and you could actually I think there was a conversion that you could alter the stroke length to get about 22.
Well, this is where Venom Arms came into the world, wasn't it? Because they were doing laser glide conversions on the 80 originally, 77 later on.
Yep.
Well,
I've actually
have we got one?
To round up the classic Weihrauchs, we have a that's not a standard 77.
Yes.
This has got that's obviously not a factory Tyrolean either. That is it? I think that's a custom stocks.
That's a factory Tyrolean, I think.
No, I think I'm pretty sure that's custom stocks.
All right, okay.
Ian will probably put me straight.
Look at the bum bit at the back. No, you're right. They had a very pronounced weird thing going on there. Double. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So that's basically 77. This came out in 1983, and this, in my opinion, this was the pinnacle.
It was the gun to have, and in fact, the early days of Field Target, this was the only gun. That was it. And if you had anything else, you just weren't going to go anywhere. They were fantastic, and I can remember buying a 77 from a friend of mine, a K as well, a carbine one, and I had an Air Arms borer prior to that, and I loved it.
Oh God, yeah, I had a borer,
but
autoloader,
boing, and it was. I used to break the spring every now and then. I think a cast steel piston with an O-ring, clatter bang, and I loved this gun. And then he let me have a go with this, and we used to shoot old China cups, and if with the Air Arms you'd hit the cup, but with the Weihrauch you'd knock chunks off the handle. It was just amazingly good gun.
Well, in my opinion, it's still possibly one of the is it the best?
We are saving that up because one of the things we've wanted to do on the show for a couple of decades is a HW77 or 97 versus an Air Arms TX200, and we're going to go at it. We're going to put the two alongside each other.
Well, everybody keeps saying, why don't we do the LGV as well?
Well, we can, yeah.
I don't think the LGV is quite in the same league.
No, it's not.
But it's
close. It's closer than others.
Yeah.
But it all starts really, I suppose. But of course, HW didn't do this underlever brake thing. That was a copy from another manufacturer, but they did it better. And but this whole idea, I mean, when you're cocking one of these, show them how. This has a bear trap. Well, no, the early ones didn't.
This one probably hasn't. There's actually 3 variations of this.
Yeah.
The first one was on a ball bearing catch.
So that's a Mark II. So that has a.
This is a Mark II.
So we'll have to fire that at the end.
So you push that forward, and cock it all the way to the back. And when you cock it, you can see that it actually brings the cylinder back, which is just beautiful.
There's a sleeve around the piston, so when you cock it, you bring the piston and the sleeve back together.
Yep.
And after you've loaded your pellets, you take your lever forward.
No,
Notice you're putting your thumb into the breech.
Well, actually,
there's a very good reason for holding the cocking.
Do you know what? When you've had it on the nearly 77, you always hold this, because if that what's it and that won't go, and it has happened to people. So you basically put the pellet in and then close it up, safety catch off. Shall we see if it's got a bear trap in it? No, it's not.
No, there we go. Somebody's taking it out. This model would have had one.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the Weihrauch 77, an absolute classic. We will be doing in September. Actually, when we come back in a minute, we'll talk about what's going on in September as well with the range. Because the first thing that we want to do is, or I want to do, is do TX versus 77.
Okay.
I thought get unbox ones and we shoot them.
Got to do that.
And then we'll do a tune.
Maybe we can speak to Chris at Hull Cartridge on the Weihrauch, and we can speak to Claire or Chris at Air Arms, and they can choose which one of us shoots which gun.
Yeah.
So
two completely bog standard guns.
Two bog standard guns.
In fact, what we'll do is in front of the viewers, we will actually have the two sealed boxes, and we'll open them up, put scopes on them, and then everybody knows that everything's legit, and and it'll be interesting to see out of the box. Because I've got my suspicions which one's going to win the standard, and I've got my suspicions which one might win the tune.
We've got to decide early, because I need to either practice my German or my Sussex accent. All right.
Anyway, I suppose that's it really for Weihrauch. We've still got loads of. Well, you're going to do your.
I'll do mine after the break, shall we?
Okay.
We'll come into that, and we'll do a little bit of Britishness after the break.
See you in a bit.
In a bit.